Yes, I love this land. It takes my breath away.
Hi, I'm Melissa.
And I'm Steve.
And we spend our spare time traveling the back roads of Texas.
We have for the last 5 years, and we visited almost all of our 254 counties, and it's been great fun, hasn't it?
Oh, it's so much fun that that's all you want to do.
That's all we want to do, is to travel Texas and to tell you about it. So, one, we hope you like, subscribe, do all the social media things to our channel. And we want to tell you a little bit today about Rockwall County.
You know, a lot of people think of Rockwall as just a suburb of Dallas. And while it is, it's unique in that it sits on a lake. And it's really very pretty.
So you're talking about Lake Ray Hubbard.
Yes.
Well, let's back up a little bit. Rockwall is just east of Dallas. Mm-hmm. It's right off I-30. And a lot of people that live in Rockwall work in Dallas. Some people that live in Dallas work in Rockwall. And the lake you're talking about is Lake Ray Hubbard, and it's a 22,000 acre lake, which is a big lake. Mm-hmm. And it's great for a variety of things. One, it's sort of out in the open, and it's a big lake, so it's great for sailing, which a lot of times you don't see in Texas. And actually, there's been like Olympic sailors that have trained at Lake Ray Hubbard. Did you know that?
I did know that because you read about him when you go out on the harbor. There's the one guy that you do read about at the lighthouse.
Okay, and so there's actually a lighthouse on the lake, which you just mentioned. It's also a good fishing lake. So you have the Texas trifecta there. You can fish for catfish, bass, and crappie. And
Crappie.
Crappie.
They're not crappie.
They're not crappie. Okay. Sorry about that. Got going a little fast. Crappie. It's spelled crappie.
It is spelled crappie, but it's crappie.
Okay. Texas pronunciation there. And you can do really well there, right? And then it has coves and whatnot, so it's a great skiing lake. It has beaches that you can swim off of. So it's an all-purpose lake, which is great because it's close to such a huge population center and people make use of it. There's many marinas there. There's boat tours you can take. But in Rockwall itself, they've built around the lighthouse Rockwall Harbor.
Yeah, and it's a really beautiful area. In fact, it was fun. We saw people boat in and dock their boats, and there's a lot of restaurants and shopping in that area. Mostly restaurants. But so it's great for nightlife or if you just want some really good food.
Well, and the cool thing is you can call in off the lake and just come up to the slip, like she was saying. There's a dedicated slip for Rockwall Harbor there, and I think they'll bring the food down to your boat, and you can head out back out on the lake.
So we've actually sailed on that lake, so it really is nice. But there is a really iconic restaurant, not right on the lake, but just a little ways off of where the harbor is.
It's up on a hill, too. You see it off of I-30. It's Culpeppers, and it's been there since the 80s, which I didn't used to think that was a long time ago, but
it's a long time ago.
You can get to iconic status now if you started in the 80s, which is a little scary.
But it is so good. Steakhouse, but we had lunch there, and it was really delicious.
And so Culpeppers is a big must for a local restaurant.
And they also have entertainment at night. And
lots of entertainment.
It's fun to walk in because they have a mural depicting the history of the restaurant. And so it's a really great place to go.
And so lake life, I think, nighttime on lakes, and particularly you go to a place like that, you'll always have a good time.
Right.
I don't know, there's something about being close to the water that you just
relax. You just chill.
Right.
But you know what was really surprising to me, because let's back up a little bit. From there, we also went to the courthouse, and their current courthouse is this big, huge. It's actually very pretty.
It's new.
It's very new, so that's not my favorite. But I mean, it is pretty, but it's huge.
It's a pretty courthouse, but there's no square around it. It's easy to get to from I-30, which all the Dallas lawyers appreciate, I guess.
Yeah.
But it is sort of off by itself. The trees aren't mature yet because it's been there 10 years or something like that. It's next to the high school football stadium.
Which is big.
It's
Texas.
And Rockwall's had some very good football teams. Some great talent has come out of there.
But you know what I enjoyed was the library. They have a beautiful library, and the grounds are really pretty. So you've got the huge courthouse, and then they have a really beautiful library, and it's really active. I saw so many young families going in on a Saturday morning. They have a lot of offerings there, but it was very pretty.
Right. But the good thing is they're a twofer on courthouses because this isn't a town that tore down their old courthouse, which is on the county square, and it's a very nice old courthouse. But they're square.
It's great. In fact, we often talk about how surprised we are. Rockwall's one of those county seats that's very surprising because if you're driving through, you're not going to go through old downtown Rockwall, and you're not going to go to the old square. You're just going to stay on the highway and keep going.
Right. You see, there's a Buc-ee's and there's all sorts of chain restaurants in addition to Culpeppers, and you're just thinking, like we started, it's a suburb.
Right.
But Rockwall is not a suburb, it's a town.
The county, the old county courthouse and the square has so much character. Really great shopping, and one of my favorites was the bar we went into, the old, that's also a bookstore.
It's called Fable and Fire, and it's a bar, restaurant, and a bookstore, very good bookstore, decorated, or you feel high-end ambiance, if you will, craft cocktails. I think I had a craft cocktail.
You did have a craft cocktail.
That right. Yes, I did.
Yes.
And so it's a great way to shop for books, to relax, to meet people. We met a couple folks there. So Fable and Fire, that was very nice.
And then if you have a book club, you just have to go across the square, and there was the cutest little place that caters to book clubs.
It's called Bookstop Cafe. And they make sure you understand you buy your books at Fable and Fire. They don't sell books at Bookstop Cafe, but like Melissa said, they've got big tables that'll be great for so you buy your book and you read it at Fable and Fire, and then you discuss it at Bookstop Cafe. And they are a breakfast all place day.
Yes.
So, and I love breakfast all
Me
places.
too.
There's nothing better than breakfast
for dinner.
At a non-breakfast time.
Right. Well, and just the square itself had some really great shops and shopping, and off the square too. I mean, so it was really very active.
Right. So it's a square and then some, and there was some other restaurants, and the shop I remember, and I'm not a boutique shopper.
Actually, he is, because I make him go into a lot of boutiques on squares.
Well, and truthfully, sometimes they all seem the same. But this place is called Brook and Blue, and it was the most interesting jean shop I've ever been in.
It was very hip. Very hip.
Like maybe too hip for us. I don't know. But Brook and Blue was very cool. They had this.
I was just going to say, do you remember when you walked in? It was kind of like AI coming to life.
It was.
They have their models, and you think they're live, and it's like a mirror.
Right.
But
it's hard to explain, but it was a very good way to show you what the clothes look like on people, and they weren't just all 6'2", 110-pound women.
Models.
I mean, they were actually people, and it was great to be able to see that. They've got what appeared to be, I didn't try any on, but it appeared to be a great selection. And I read a little bit about the owner, and she's young, but she has a great sense of style.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Brook and Blue ended up in your neighborhood at some point, because it is a really cool store.
It's just a cool place to go sit and watch other people try on clothes, quite frankly. It's very cool.
And it's not the only one. There was, I think we bought a coffee table book at a great kitchen store there, and I'm forgetting the name of it right now. You can find out. I didn't forget it when I wrote the field guide to Rockwall County. So you go to texas10.com, you get a little bit more specific, hours, place, and a better listing if Brook and Blue isn't your thing, some other places to look at.
So let's talk about the name of Rockwall. This is very interesting. You don't think the name of Rockwall is because of a rock wall.
Well,
but
why wouldn't you think that?
Well,
Well,
around the courthouse, you can read the history of Rockwall.
Right. And so Rockwall, and they appear above ground. And so it wasn't, well, there's a dispute, but the weight of scientific evidence says that this was all naturally occurring, that it wasn't a prehistoric civilization that built a rock wall, but it looks like somebody built it because it's all of that stacked stone. And some of these structures between underneath the ground and on top of it, they range up to like 40 feet of stacked stone, of rock walls. And so and there, like I said, most of the geologists, archaeologists that have looked at it say, no, that's naturally occurring. But there's a couple holdouts that said, no, it's evidence of a prehistoric civilization. But it's a unique in Texas and really maybe anywhere sort of set of geological structures. So good thing they named the town that, and the county.
And so the squares are great, but every great county seat has a hidden gem. And there's a hamburger place in Rockwall that's in this house.
It's in a suburb.
You have to,
not a suburb, a neighborhood.
It's in a neighborhood, but the old neighborhood. And it took some hunting to find it, but well worth it.
Boots Burgers.
He's been there forever.
I think one of our friends, I don't know if it was Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives or Texas Bucket, one of those places actually did a story on it. And I mean, it's a fairly robust business that he's running out of his garage in the back end of his house.
And when he's out, he's out.
Right.
So there's no specific hours,
right,
but you want to get there in time to get the burger. You can sit outside and eat it. It's really great.
Get a boot burger.
Get a boot burger.
A boot burger.
After you get your jeans at Boots Blue or Brook and Blue.
Yes. Yes. So Rockwall has lots of surprise. Oh, on the naming thing, you know who Ray Hubbard was?
Yes.
Not Ray Wiley Hubbard.
No.
It was not Ray Wiley Hubbard.
So great. He sings.
Ray Hubbard was the director of the Dallas Parks and Recreation for like 40 years or something like that. And they named the lake after him. So,
well, that was a good thing to name after someone who's in charge of the parks in Texas.
And so I'll always think of that now as I travel across I-30. Now, a little bit of warning, getting to Rockwall from Dallas, there's a bridge that goes across Ray Hubbard, and there's a lot of people from Dallas going there, and so you slow down sometimes for quite some time. And they're working on the bridge
They're building another bridge, aren't they?
I think so.
Yeah.
But they're working very hard to make that a little bit smoother commute.
Yeah.
But it does show you that there's a lot of people that actually want to get over there to take advantage of the boating for one thing. But visit the harbor. Have lunch there or whatever. There's some great golf courses there. There's some other little towns. Fate is always one that I like to say. Fate is in Rockwall County. Royce City. Right.
If you're from Dallas, your high school teams may have played the powerhouses that come out of Royce City.
Or your daughter may have won a district championship at the Royce City track. So shout out to Kendall Howen for the 2014 mile champ in the district at Royce City.
Still really proud of that.
That was awesome.
But Rockwall County is a fun place to visit. It's relaxed. I can see why people want to live out there. You get out of the city and it really has a relaxed feel.
Yeah, they get 30 going so you don't get stopped up all the time. It's a pretty straight shot into downtown Dallas. So it would be great to live on the lake and head into work.
It's actually pretty driving in because you can see the skyline of the city.
So again, Rockwall County, if you're driving along I-30, it's one thing, but if you just veer off a little bit, either to the right to Rockwall Harbor or especially to the left to go downtown,
it's worth your time.
Yeah, have a breakfast at Bookstop Cafe, get a book at Fable and Fire, and then go to Boots Burger. It's all there for you.
So we hope to see you again here on Texas 10 to learn more about the hidden treasures in Texas.
Right. In the meantime, like us, subscribe to us, keep listening, tell your friends, and you get out there and keep traveling and tell us what you find in Texas.
Bye.
Bye.
And I love this land. It takes my breath away. From Palo Duro to the Gulf Coast Plain. From the heart of the hill country to the piney wood shade, I love this land. It takes my breath away.